change that requires most drones to be identifiable remotely, a report said Monday. The rule change, announced Thursday, has been in the works for more than a year. That's according to FAA spokesman Ian McGregor in an email to the Denver Post. Under the legislation, law enforcement, federal security agencies, and the FAA would be allowed to identify drones flying through their jurisdiction. Activist Post reports a squadron of drones has been flying above a total of 5 Midwestern states every night for more than 2 weeks, leaving both residents and officials wondering who's flying them and what purpose they are serving. Sheriffs in Lincoln, Washington, and Sedgwick counties in Colorado and Nebraska say their offices have been inundated with calls about the devices. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This is the Onion Week in Review. In local news, a succession of terrible events failed to befall a 33-year-old riding a longboard to his digital media job Monday. Shocked bystanders helplessly watched as media developer Jake Reston skated safely through Manhattan traffic without flipping over on his obnoxiously oversized skateboard and smashing his stupid face into the pavement, with many saying they were horrified at the sight of the floppy-haired little shit walking into his office unscathed.
It was one of the most horrible things I've ever seen. He wasn't even hit by a car. I was just praying that someone would step in and throw him off his stupid little skateboard and punch him right in the mouth.
In other news, a study finds owning a cool leather jacket is more rewarding than raising a child. A community garden sprouts the first condom wrapper of spring, and a little turtle gorges on an entire raspberry.
Tonight in the cabin, schoolmarm's telling about how they talk about corpulation down the school. Only a fool needs telling how to screw. Just let the pecker guide you. But come on, listen anyhow.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here, and it is the live Saturday edition of the program. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
So last night we did discuss, what's going on with the Iran strike, which apparently was a strike in Iraq against the number 2 guy from Iran, one of their top generals, allegedly killing him.
Well, it seems pretty clear at this point.
Seems pretty clear. And, we've got tweets here from then non-president Donald J. Trump, multiple tweets from September of 2013. And October of 2012, predicting that Barack Obama would go to war with Iran in order to in election year, basically, essentially to distract people or whatever it was that he believed. But Trump was predicting that Barack Obama would do the exact same thing that even Trump himself is now doing. Have you seen those tweets?
I haven't seen those tweets, but I know that both Bush and Obama had the opportunities and chose not to take the killing of what's this guy's name?
The guy that got killed?
Soleimani? I don't know.
Soleimani?
Soleimani,
I believe. And there is now a new general. Surprise, surprise! You took out the one general. Now there's another one.
Well, it's a job opening was created.
So there's another guy who's in that position now. And according to the Express and the UK, there's now a red flag that has been raised over a holy dome in Iran at the Holy Dome Jamkaran Mosque as an alleged symbol of severe battle to come. Iran and U.S. tensions are at an all-time high following the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani by Washington in an airstrike. Global leaders have begun assessing the magnitude of the situation, with many holding fears of World War III. Mark, you said that that's apparently trending.
Yeah, trending on Twitter, the hashtag WW3. And
is it trending in a bad way or in a good way? As in,
depends on which side of the issue you're on.
Are people against World War III, or are they in favor of World War III?
Well, both is the answer to that question. I mean, I think it's all very interesting to me because on one hand,
it's
Iran
horrifying.
Could avoid conflict if they just sort of let it all go, and they've done that before.
Mm-hmm. Of course, they also just lost their number 2 guy. I mean, it's tantamount to an airstrike coming in on the vice president of the United States, right?
It's not even that. It's worse than that. Who's America's greatest general? You have no clue, right? There's, I mean, I don't think there's anybody vying for that position at this point. Yeah, I mean, there's Schwarzkopf at one point and Powell, but
yeah, both of those guys are retired or dead.
I suspect they're alive, but either way, they're not doing generaling.
Yeah,
and whereas this guy is the sort of the brains behind the operation, probably in all likelihood responsible for the deaths of hundreds of Americans throughout the years.
You mean Americans who went over there and got involved in other people's business? Those Americans?
Likely.
Yeah.
That's likely the case.
Well, I don't recall hearing about many Iranian attacks on Americans in the United States.
Probably not very many civilian targets.
Is there a time when you can remember Iranian attacks on U.S. targets?
I can't.
No, me neither.
But there's always a possibility, and then there's defense contractors and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are
defense contractors who are usually there at the behest of the United States government.
Right.
Right.
So, when it comes to this guy, this Soleimani guy, I have taken the stance that you put on a uniform and, fire comes your way. Well, I'm neither surprised nor horrified.
Mm-hmm.
You deserve it. You decided to play that particular game. That's what made 9/11 so horrifying. Is that civilians in the Twin Towers are targeted, and that's why Americans got so mad. This is a military thing, and a military guy died by
Americans would have been
munitions.
mad if there was an attack on a U.S.-based military base.
There was an attack on the Pentagon, but people don't. They don't ascribe the problems of 9/11 to the Pentagon. They ascribe them to the World Trade Center, right?
That's true. They're a more noteworthy target. I mean, they're bigger. It's more flashy. They came down
more people died.
More people died, and they came down in a very dramatic manner. I suspect that if 3 planes had been crashed into the Pentagon, you also would have had quite a bit of outrage.
Could be.
Because that's our military, and the military needs to be protected, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, you don't protect the military protects.
Well, that's what they want you to believe.
Yeah, well, that's its job.
Well, that's not what they're doing. They're going over into the Middle East and murdering peaceful people by the hundreds of thousands.
Well, that's happened throughout the years.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, to me, this is just another step in a long conflict that's gone on in that same region. Is it going to make it better? Probably not. In my opinion, Trump owns this. He owns it lock, stock, and barrel. There was not a particular problem with Iran when Trump went in. Trump didn't like the
but the claim,
deal.
Hold on, the claim is, from what I heard at least, that Iran was secretly operating the protests that were going on outside of the embassy, and violence, and Iran's behind it, et cetera, et cetera.
That's probably true.
Maybe, but all you got to do is just believe what the military says, or whichever U.S. government so-called expert is coming in there claiming this, just like they lied and claimed that Iraq had yellow cake and all the other weapons of mass destruction, misinformation, and the whole load of hooey that lied people into the Iraq war. Well, guess what? They're going to tell lies again, and that's what they do. So just go ahead and presume that what they're saying is a lie. In fact, they may have even lied to Donald Trump. Who knows?
It's any of that is possible. I tend to agree with the story. It makes sense to me. Plus, the difference is that the United States appealed to the UN and to the American people on the yellow cake thing. They did not appeal. The military did not appeal to the United States.
What do you mean appealed? They didn't put it to a vote to go to war.
I think that if they had, likely you would have seen some a vote to go to a war. But
yeah, because people believe a bunch of crap that's being fed to them by the government.
But in this circumstance, no one was asked, right? It was just drop this and do it. And I think that's because they were pretty confident of the operation, and it happened.
Yeah, they're confident they could kill the guy. That doesn't mean that they're telling the truth about the reasons why they killed him.
I'm not
and
saying
if you believe
that
the government's telling the truth, you haven't been paying attention.
Well, okay, look, there's no organization that can make it by telling a lie all the time. All right, you got to tell it.
Sure, they can lie a lot because they can just tax you.
That much is true.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that this is a lie.
Well,
right?
I'm going to presume it's a lie because they're known liars and they've been caught lying.
Would it make a difference?
Multiple times?
Is my question. Does it make a difference?
No, because they were in a place where they weren't supposed to be.
Well, it's an embassy, and it's an embassy. It's a military base parading as an embassy, right? So you've got this problem in Iraq, and it all stems from the invasion way back when anyway. So I don't really know how to handle it. Should a nation protect its embassies? Sure. Does that include blowing up another nation's general? Maybe not.
How many other embassies are under attack? By the how many other U.S. embassies are under attack in what other countries? Yeah,
I guess none.
Maybe that's because they're not invading those.
Huh? There's one in Libya not too long ago.
Maybe that's because they're not invading those other countries where the embassies are. Maybe embassies are more likely to be attacked where the U.S. government has gone in with military troops and murdered innocent people. I'm just saying. Maybe that's what's happening here.
Oh, that sounds like a really strong likelihood.
Yeah.
Right? Like, wars, innocent people die in wars.
All of this has been brought on by the U.S. government's meddling in the Middle East from as far back as, what was it, the 50s when they were, put in the Shah in Iran or something like that?
Yeah, I would think that was the 50s. Yeah.
I mean, so the CIA was meddling around back then, and they haven't stopped ever since.
Well, so Central America yawns in comparison to what goes on in the Middle East.
Okay. Well, regardless, there's murder that's been going on there, and that leads to people being angry. And so you're right. This isn't going to end just because Donald Trump orders a bomb dropped on some guy, who's now been replaced, by the way. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE if you want to join us. Apparently, Iran has now raised a red flag. This is supposedly a war flag. And, some people have wondered, is this an act of war? And I think a lot of people would say, yeah, if you kill the number two guy within a particular governmental structure, they're going to see that as an act of war, likely. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. You can join us here, and we can talk about the Selective service coming up, too.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. In my lab, I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. As a scientist, I know that balance of nature works.
Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
It's being called the must-have tech gadget of the year. The Samsung Apex, which hits shelves today, streams video into your left eye, internet into your right eye, and sucks your dick all at the same time. Samsung spokesman Neil Werner is projecting the biggest sales in his company's history.
Are you kidding me? This thing does everything, plus it sucks your dick, all right? And I know what you're thinking. And yes, ladies, there is a version for you that eats you out. Hanging up Apple, we beat you to the punch on this one. Samsung's got you by the balls.
In spite of the almost $1,000 price tag, customers are raving about the device.
For my career, I do need the internet and TV, and my dick sucked all the time.
I already have a TV and a girlfriend and a laptop, but to have all those in one device would be really nice.
Even a run of bad press about unsafe working conditions in the Apex factory in India have not dampened sales projections.
Yeah. Factory, switch up, blah, blah. How about you just plug your eyeball straight into the internet and get your dick sucked?
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Talking more about what's going on with the attack against the so-called nation-state of Iran and what's going to happen next. Apparently, they're now flying a red flag, which is allegedly the first time, according to the story at the Express out of the UK, the first time ever that a red flag has been raised above the holy dome of Jamkaran Mosque.
We got ourselves a jihad
in Iraq, symbolizing a severe battle to come. The disturbing war flag reads the words, quote, "Those who want to avenge the blood of Hussein," unquote. We'll tell you more about what's going on with that. Your calls and thoughts are welcome here. Plus, will the U.S. government be bringing back the draft? Some people are worried. And apparently the Selective Service website crashed recently. Now, it's probably not that hard to crash a government website because they're just god-awful at everything they do. But we can talk about, whether or not the draft is coming back and what that all means. You can share your thoughts, though, if you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. And do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Well, with AnyPay, you can now earn passive income for every purchase made in crypto, those two cryptos specifically, at those businesses that you brought on board. You make it happen, so you receive the rewards. You can download the AnyPay Cash Register app, and by the way, the renaming has gone through. So when you search for AnyPay on whether it's iOS or whether it's Android, you will see AnyPay Cash Register. There's like 5 or 6 different AnyPays. You want the one that's called AnyPay Cash Register.
Got it.
Because that will get you set up, and then you'll have your crypto addresses installed in your account. And then what you do is you install AnyPay at a real-life business and tell them you did it at anypayinc.com. That's anypayinc.com, and then they'll link your account to that business's account, and you'll get credit for future purchases, which is super cool. So it's anypayinc.com. We go to back to the story here briefly, and then we'll get into your calls and thoughts. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Actually, we're going to go to jail here. We're calling from Jackson, Michigan. Or excuse me, is it Jackson, Michigan, or where are you at, Art? I'm spacing on it right now. It is Jackson, Michigan, right? Sorry, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is Jackson, Michigan. We've been on like 3 different Jacksons, so I was having a brain fart for a moment there. I think we've had Jackson, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, and Jackson, Michigan. Anyway, go ahead with your thoughts. What are you calling about tonight?
Okay, 19 prisoners got together and filed a proposed class action lawsuit challenging all the Michigan laws that have been ruled unconstitutional and still being enforced.
It's bizarre.
If anybody wants to look at the case, they can go to pacer.gov and just punch in the case number 19-CV as in Victor, Charlie Victor, 13468. It's Rouse versus U.S. Attorney General.
And that's you. You're Art Rouse.
Yes, and along with 18 other prisoners.
So wait, you're suing the state of Michigan for bad laws?
We are, but we're suing the U.S. and the state attorney general and the governor as well, and both legislatures.
So federal and Michigan, federal government and Michigan.
Because the way we're getting the U.S., we're trying to bring the U.S. attorney general. We're hoping he's going to take our side, but we'll see. But basically, we're saying, hey, they've taken an oath to the Constitution. These laws have already been ruled unconstitutional all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. They're still on the books. They're still being enforced. Something needs to be done. They're violating their oath to the Constitution. So I'm saying, hey, take them off or face prosecution because their oath to the Constitution has to mean something. I know.
Can you give us an example of what one of these laws is that's been ruled unconstitutional that's still being enforced?
Sure. Abortion. The day after pill. They're prosecuting people 5 years in prison in Michigan.
Wow.
Cohabitation. If you shacked up with your partner, they can put you in jail for a year.
And that one's still being enforced?
Who is enforcing that?
Not only enforced, but it's being directly enforced and indirectly enforced. They can terminate you from work. They can refuse your housing. There's published cases on it in Michigan. They can deny you from various social club memberships during criminal prosecution. These things are still the decency laws. They're still on the books. You can go up to if you have unusual sex with your wife, with your spouse, you can go to prison up to life in prison in Michigan, and they're still enforcing these laws. Now, I'm not saying they're doing it every single day. I don't have access to all the cases that they are enforcing it. But like I said, these are draconian laws that need to be removed. They've already been ruled unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Really, they're a form of religion. And it's violating a direct violation of the First Amendment, the Establishment Clause. They've made their own religion. There's no government interest why they can regulate what two consenting adults do in the bedroom.
Now, Art, are you the person who's handling the legal aspect of this? Are you pro se?
Pro se at this point. We're asking. We've sent out a number of press releases. We sent out a number of requests for attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
So far, we've been turned down, but we're taking any help that we can get, whether it's legal representation, people helping with sending out these press releases, because we send them out, but we don't have thousands of dollars to send out press releases every day.
Sure.
So basically, we send a few dozen out, but we want to send hundreds out. And,
well, at least you can call Free Talk Live. Doesn't cost, you're paying per minute, but that's because you're in jail.
Exactly. But that's cheap advertisements. But anyhow, if they want to make a comment, they can also send their comments to jpay.com. Just type in Rouse, ROUSE, 274-237, or they can visit us on our Facebook page under Prisoners for Liberty.
Prisoners for Liberty on Facebook. Hey, keep us up to date on this, Art. Definitely appreciate the call tonight, and good luck navigating the difficult and confusing court system. It's designed to be obtuse. That way you want to hire an attorney and have to pay through the nose to have some guy who, he's been through it before, kind of hold your hand through it. But it's not easy. So.
Yeah, there's some of these jailhouse attorneys are pretty skilled.
That's true. They got plenty of time to study. That's, right. That's for sure. Toll-free number
and an interest.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. We go to David. He's in Brattleboro, Vermont. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Hello?
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, David. You're on the air.
Hello?
You are on the air, sir. Go ahead.
This was going to... Hello? This was going to be my comment today. I've heard people saying that he's brave for doing this or something, but some people, specifically a certain representative in the state of New Hampshire whose last name begins with B and he's Italian, but everybody knows him in our state. But my point is, he had 5 deferments, so that's not very brave.
Talking about Trump?
What's that?
Trump had deferments from military service? Is that what you're referring to, like during the draft?
5 deferments. He avoided it.
Well, I mean, I support people avoiding the draft. I don't think that it's courageous to go and die for, some politician. I don't know if that was his reason for for avoiding it, but regardless,
I would say that if I were to look at this, the bravery of giving the order to assassinate somebody half a world away is about as brave as some millennial getting on Twitter and speaking truth to power.
Thank you, David, for the call tonight. Appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Yeah, he doesn't actually have any real, risk. He's fairly well protected compared to the guy that he went after. There's more coming up. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Live Saturday show. We continue.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love,
and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in lines. They're open and available to you at discord.lrn.fm. Here tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And Mark, tell me about Balance of Nature.
Balance of Nature is a nutritional company, and they have some really great products. Among them are their fruits capsules and their veggie capsules. If you take 3 of each of these, so 3 fruit capsules, 3 veggie capsules, you get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. And that's a lot of nutrition. That's going to cover whatever you need for the day. And a lot of us, well, we're failing to cover that a lot of days in a row. If you're having this problem, well, I mean, you know what the consequences are, and you probably should fix it. Go to balanceofnature.com. Use discount code FTL if you go online and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. After your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no extra charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. It's a great deal. Balanceofnature.com, discount code FTL.
All right, so we continue here. We'll take your calls and thoughts. We've been discussing Iran and the situation there where Donald Trump ordered a missile strike, apparently, against one of the top brass in Iran, allegedly the number 2 guy. Of course, there's now another number 2 guy who's taken his place. And they've stirred up a hornet's nest, or have they? Well, so far there's a red flag that's been raised over one of their holy sites, according to the express.co.uk. We can talk more about that. Apparently it's symbolic. That is essentially a war flag, and says it's the very first time ever that this flag has been raised there. We go to Joe first, though, listening in Youngsville. Joe, how are you tuning in to the show tonight?
I'm listening on 96.7 here in Youngsville, Pennsylvania.
Excellent, sir. What is on your mind tonight?
Well, ever since I heard on the radio and on the news here about what's going on in Iran and Iraq, I'm just kind of confused how people feel the need to blame our current president for what's going on.
Oh, no, I blame all of the presidents. I blame all of the presidents.
Oh, I don't mean you in particular.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead then.
No, I just mean the public, you know. It seems like every time the wind blows, it's Trump's fault.
All right, so go ahead. What you had to say about that?
Yeah, it seems like he's been, every time we have an issue with Iran or, you know, any of the Middle Eastern countries, it seems like he brushes it under the rug, or he finds a way to get around it so everybody's just okay with it, or, you know, something like that. And everybody immediately, when something kicks off, they turn around and they say, oh, Trump's a warmonger. He just wants a war with Iran.
I tend to I don't think that's true. I don't think Trump is a warmonger. I think that he has done a great job with quite a few Middle Eastern countries. But I think it's very true that Trump has had has painted a target on Iran since the very first day he walked in. He started as a campaign promise to redo the Iran deal. Iran's like, no thanks, and we don't need you. And it made him mad by the sounds of it. And here he has he could have not assassinated this general, and that's what this is. Like Bush and Obama did, but he chose to. So he owns this. If a war kicks off, and I'm not saying Iran's going to win, I don't think they are, but if a war kicks off, Trump owns it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I agree with you 100%. What I'm saying is I don't agree with the fact that people are blaming him for the situation.
Well, he kind of created the situation with Iran, yeah. I mean, was it a good deal? Well, I don't know what the Iran nuclear deal was, but I mean, you know, from what I can tell, the UN has been going through there and checking for nuclear weapons. Hasn't found any for decades.
This is true. Yes, the nuclear issue that's here nor there. What I'm saying is, as far as us being in the Middle East, as Americans, when I say us,
you mean the military, the U.S. military?
Yes, so our military. Mm-hmm. Yes, our U.S. military. Us being in the Middle East, it's not. I mean, and I'm a former Marine, mind you. You have to understand that. Mm. Us being there is not necessary.
I agree.
In most places any longer.
I don't think it ever was.
I mean, there were certain things that maybe I could see us wanting to pay attention to, but us actually being there, doing what we're doing, is not necessary by any means.
Would you also agree that it's not only not necessary, but also counterproductive and actually creates much of the terrorism that people are so afraid of?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we're on the same page, my man.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else?
The American government created Al-Qaeda.
Yep.
Maybe not created, but we armed them.
Yep. And ISIS.
Then we turned around a few years later and we decided, hey, we don't like you anymore, so now we're going to have a war and we're going to send all of our people, our military, mind you, excuse me, we're going to send our military over and we're just going to stomp you out now.
Except
we created you and now we're going to stomp you out.
Then ISIS rose in its place, and arguably they're even worse. Right?
Exactly. Exact same idea, but they are worse.
Thank you, Joe.
And now,
go ahead, real fast.
Oh yeah, okay. And now we have this new honestly, I can't even remember the name. The terrorist organization that they're talking about that the Iranian general was backing.
Oh, I don't have that name either. I don't know what that is.
Oh,
I think I saw it. I think I saw it in some article. It's
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Either way, that's the new thing. It seems like every time something's going on, like, for instance, the impeachment of our president, every time something's going on, there's a new war in the Middle East that we need to focus on now.
Joe, thanks for your call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. So there you go, former Marine saying that basically the wars in the Middle East unnecessary and counterproductive, creating terrorism.
It's the soldiers who have to fight these things, and they usually come away from it with one of two opinions. The one opinion is, like this gentleman has, is that, hey, what are we going over there and messing with these folks for? And the other one is like, these people are subhuman and they just won't listen to our better judgment. That's just a really common way people are, right? If you're just like, I'm from over there and I'm here to fix y'all. Mm-hmm. Right, you're an enemy immediately.
Right.
Like, that is a bad thing to say. In Florida, we have a bumper sticker. If you want to do it like they do back at home, take I-95 north. Right? Go back home. We don't care. And this is what it's like everywhere in the world. You can't just show up and say, we're going to run it the right way. And by the way, we got big guns. As a matter of fact, we can magically make you die from a robot in the sky. Mm-hmm. And, it's just, it's creating animosity. And for no particular reason. What are you and I, Mr. and Mrs. America, what are we getting out of all of this? And the answer is nothing.
Yeah, well, dead people.
Right.
Military
sons
suicides.
And daughters died.
Lots of suicides.
Yeah, military suicides.
PTSD.
Quite high.
You're getting that. You're getting a lot of PTSD cases.
Yeah, got to take care of that. Got to take care of every veteran who's had limbs blown off, because now we have the ability to save them, as opposed to them just dying in some field hospital someplace.
So the leader, this is according to express.co.uk, of the Islamic Revolution in Iran, Imam Syed, on Friday vowed, quote, severe revenge, unquote, in response to the killing of Soleimani. That's the general that Trump took out. Iranian officials, including the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, stressed the Islamic Republic will take revenge for the commander and others killed. The airstrike occurred early Friday at Baghdad's international airport and killed the commander as well as other Iraqi commanders. International retaliation scholars have argued this could see further escalation and ultimately an all-out war. And I don't remember if it was Tulsi Gabbard who said basically saying that if you thought that Afghanistan and Iraq were bad as far as, conflict and death and that sort of thing, that a war with Iran may make those look like a cakewalk.
Well, if you thought Afghanistan and Iraq were easy, I need you to consider that it's $6 trillion that currently sits on the books. $6 trillion out of 23
You
trillion?
mean since 2003 or whatever? That portion of the conflict?
Basically all that. It's incredible. It was incredibly wasteful, incredibly expensive. All it does, right now, ladies and gentlemen, buy defense contractor stocks.
Toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. I don't think that was investment advice because you're not an investment advisor, but more coming up.
Anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here at the toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Here tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
I want to say thanks to Libertariat, who is a Free Talk Live Platinum amplifier. That means Libertariat is contributing $25 a month to the AMP program, which is 5 times more than what we ask for. So, wow, thanks so much for doing that. We do request $5 a month. You can join the AMP program and help us get on more great radio stations around the United States. In fact, we got a brand new one on board tonight, and normally I like to make sure that everything has gone smoothly. With our first airing with a new radio station. But since we already had a caller call in tonight from that station, I'm going to presume that means that we're actually on the air. Although they didn't end up getting on the air, they dropped off the line. But I do want to say welcome to the mighty 690.
They do sound mighty at 690.
KGGF, based out of Coffeyville, Kansas, right there kind of on the border between Kansas and Oklahoma. And it just blasts out into Wichita, apparently, as well. So welcome aboard.
Yeah, so if you're listening to the show for the first time, I'd like to give you a little primer on Free Talk Live. We're not like other radio programs out there. You really can call in and talk on the air. And you can do it on any topic you want. So if you want to talk about something specifically that we're not talking about, fine. Just call in and say, hey, change the topic on you guys. And that's fine. You can do that. Also, we are not cookie-cutter Republican talk, all right? We don't do that.
Or cookie-cutter lefty talk.
Yeah, I don't even... Is there that much of that? There's some of it, right?
There's like maybe 5 progressive stations left in the
We're
US.
libertarians, and we ascribe to the non-aggression principle, which is, that means that you do not initiate force against other people. And that includes nation states, that includes all that stuff. And from that little maxim, we draw all of our conclusions. So, yeah, happy to talk to you.
Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And, again, the Discord call-in lines over at discord.lrn.fm. That's our chat server that you can join, and you can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners there around the clock. So as we continue, you'll kind of get a feel for the show. We are live 7 nights a week, even if you don't hear all 7 nights on your local radio station. But maybe someday you will, if you just ask nicely. They might put us on more often. But glad to have you whenever you're tuned in. We appreciate you. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. We go to David in New Mexico, listening to KENN, another great station that has actually expanded our show recently there in New Mexico. And in fact, KENN now carrying us on both Saturday and Sunday in our live hours, which is fantastic. They're based in the Farmington, New Mexico area. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, Farmington, Four Corners, New Mexico, and there's also, don't forget, I believe on Saturday nights you're on their KENN's KINN, KINN, out of Alamogordo. So up in Farmington, you're in the heart of Navajo Nation up there. Mm-hmm. And in Alamogordo, you're getting the Mescalero and Chiricahua Apaches.
Good to know.
Yep.
They can call in anytime. The number is 855-450-3733.
Do it. When you're not calling into Singing Wire on KUNM engines, call into this program, please.
But we don't take smoke signals, I'm afraid. We can't. We're too far away.
Don't be insulting the Indians. They don't like that.
Leave the jokes to somebody else, pal.
That's right. Well, you can make jokes about Indians as long as you know what you're talking about, and after you make the joke, you say, "Hey."
No, that is funny.
That's the Indians will recognize that signal there.
What are you calling about tonight?
Signal. I'm calling about what I'm talking about, and now that we got the attention of the people that actually listen to your radio program here in the entire state of New Mexico.
That's right. They were just waiting for you to get on the air. They didn't have any attention paid until you showed up.
Be nice. Go ahead, David.
You would be surprised, Ian and Mark, now that we've got the attention of everybody who's hearing you in the state of New Mexico, which is supposedly what you want, is people in the entire state listening to you. So this involves a new lawsuit that doesn't involve me in the state of New Mexico, and it's highly interesting. Okay. And it's also interesting that it's identical to what I've been complaining about that everybody's sick of hearing. This one might interest people everywhere, especially in the state of New Mexico.
So what is it?
It involves I'm telling you, it involves a basketball player at J.J. Caldwell and another basketball player.
Is that a high school?
By the name of Bragg. No, University of New Mexico Lobo basketball team.
Oh, the guy's name is J.J. Caldwell. Okay.
Yeah, which some years they're very good. Anyway, the University of New Mexico recently kicked him out of his home and kicked him off of the basketball team and banned him from campus based on the fact that the police had written him up for an alleged disagreement he had with his girlfriend. So the police have written him up.
A domestic
Pardon?
dispute? You said they kicked him out of his home. Was he living on campus?
Yeah, he was living in what they call Lobo Village, which is on-campus apartments, I believe, for students. And why this is significant is that he had simply somebody made a complaint, like his girlfriend, and the cops wrote it up.
Yeah.
But the district attorney had not at that point, and I charged him, and the legal proceedings had gone no further.
Okay, hold on. Before you go on, David, in New Mexico, and I don't know if it's statewide or certain cities, is it one of those places where when the police get called to a domestic disturbance that they have to put someone in handcuffs and take them away?
I don't think that's a formal thing. That might be a practical thing that the cops tried to do in order to avoid any liability should they
Did
not
that
arrest
happen in this
somebody.
case? Was he arrested at all on the scene, or did they just show up and take a report and then leave?
That I don't know, and that's not the important part of the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
The point I'm making is that this guy he had a home, and he was kicked out of his home, and he had a job, and he was kicked out of his job, and he had an education. He was getting an education, and he got kicked out of the education. And he was, like the rest of us, traveling freely across public property prior to this, and now he's banned from a square mile or more of property called the University of New Mexico. And this was all done without due process, and now there's a federal lawsuit over it. And first of all, it's notable that the dean of students that kicked him out of his home, out of his job, out of his education, and off of her property, the dean of students, whose name is Nasha Torres, nepotistically happens to be married to Raul Torres, the DA in Bernalillo County. And Raul Torres and Nasha Torres and nobody in New Mexico seemed to have any problem with that until the dude got an attorney and sued their asses in federal court.
Good for him.
And they immediately decided, because we since we're married, the DA Raul Torres and the dean of students Nasha Torres, since we're married and we're going after this guy and we're taking things from him, we took like 4 different things from him and the dude hasn't even been in a courtroom yet. But he lost his home, his job, his education.
Now, what was his job? I missed that part. Obviously, they kicked him out of school. They kicked him physically out.
He's a basketball player, and so
we gotta get paid for that.
They're actually, the law has been changed in California at least, and they're looking at doing it in New Mexico so that basketball players in college can actually get cash because it's their job, it's their full-time job. They don't have enough time, energy. To actually work.
Yeah, I don't know what the specifics on it are, but I know that the NCAA is looking at rule changes in that area. I don't know what's best, but it seems to me like money in hand is a great way for universities to negotiate who's going to be on their team.
Don't they pay to go to the university?
They get scholarships if they're basketball players.
The point, let's not get lost in that. The point is that this guy had his life taken from him before receiving any due process.
Has he been charged at all with anything?
Well, the DA, at the point where he was evicted from the university and kicked off the team and all that stuff, he had not been formally charged by the DA.
Has he now?
Been written up. Probably, but that was after they took all these things from him. They took all these things before, not only before a conviction, they took it before he was even charged.
Yeah, it's crazy. David, will you do us a favor and keep us up to date on this case as it develops? I definitely appreciate the heads up on it. Sounds like an absolute outrage. Now, I would guess the argument from the college would be that
their college, they can do what they want, right?
That it's probably a state college, so I don't know if they can do what they want. But the argument from them would likely be, well, when you joined the college, you agreed that we have our own separate system of so-called justice, where you get your little college lawyer and whatever else, if that, and we do what we want, and you follow our rules. So we'll see. I'm interested to hear how it pans out. David, thanks for the call. There's more coming up here. 855-450-FREE. It's Free Talk Live. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,521, silver at $17.89, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,139. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a number of Russian soldiers were badly beaten and airlifted to a hospital after a fistfight with American troops in Syria last week. According to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, the incident occurred on December 25th in the city of Tal Tamar in northeast Syria. When U.S. troops arrived to collect information from local residents, the latter reportedly reacted negatively and accused the Americans of betraying them with the withdrawal of U.S. forces from the area. Russian soldiers in the area then confronted the Americans, at which point they argued. That led to a fistfight between the soldiers. No weapons were used, and no major casualties were reported at first. It was then revealed that 3 of the Russian soldiers were beaten so severely that they required urgent medical attention. According to Russian media outlet The Military Review, the Israeli media also drew attention to the incident, although the Russian Defense Ministry has officially denied that it even took place. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Thousands of Iraqi protesters attacked various parts of the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad on Tuesday, after U.S. airstrikes killed dozens of Iran-backed Iraqi militia over the weekend. The attack on the embassy has been widely documented on Twitter, with videos and pictures showing the destruction. The Mind Unleashed reports that one freelance journalist recorded the moment when the angry mob chanted, quote, no to America, no to Israel, end quote, outside of the embassy in Baghdad's Green Zone. The Times of Israel's Mina Bai tweeted a video of what appears to be part of the embassy on fire. More videos show protesters burning the outer walls of the embassy. The U.S. airstrike on Sunday on Hezbollah bases in Iraq and Syria was in response to attacks on U.S. troops in the region. ABC News said there had been no reports of any embassy staff hurt in the current rampage. All security forces have been withdrawn to the inner areas of the embassy. One day after Colorado and western Nebraska counties reported a series of mysterious nocturnal drone flights, the Federal Aviation Administration is promoting a rule change that requires most drones to be identifiable remotely, a report said Monday. The rule change, announced Thursday, has been in the works for more than a year. That's according to FAA spokesman Ian McGregor in an email to the Denver Post. Under the legislation, law enforcement, federal security agencies, and the FAA would be allowed to identify drones flying through their jurisdiction. Activist Post reports a squadron of drones has been flying above a total of 5 Midwestern states every night for more than 2 weeks, leaving both residents and officials wondering who's flying them and what purpose they are serving. Sheriffs in Lincoln, Washington, and Sedgwick counties in Colorado and Nebraska say their offices have been inundated with calls about the devices. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Our planet is but a giant petri dish swirling with pathogens, all mixed by the filthy stirring straw that is the world's fauna, simply by sitting on her eggs and breathing. This duck unleashes a torrent of avian botulism, cholera, and duck plague into the air. These jousting elk slough off bits of skin and fur, sending millions of harmful bacteria into the air. Our closest relative, the chimpanzee, is itself the fountainhead of AIDS. Bitter at the ascendancy of man, these scheming apes brood this deadly virus in their jungle lairs. Nowhere on Earth is safe from the threat of animals. Even in the bitter wasteland of the Antarctic, penguins walk for miles inland, ensuring their afflictions reach every corner of the globe.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you here tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
So, for those of you just tuning in, we have been mostly talking about the situation that, with the escalation, I think is best to call it, between Iran's government gang and the U.S. government gang, with Donald Trump saying, quote, "We took action last night to stop a war. We did not take action to start a war." Well, that's a nice way to try to spin this, but this is definitely an escalation of conflict. If you're going to allege that conflict was already occurring, and the conspiracy theory is that the U.S., or this is the conspiracy theory proffered by apparently the U.S. government, is that Iran was behind the attacks on the U.S. embassy, and was that in Iraq where the embassy was? That it was secretly the Iranian government that was behind that, and so therefore we need to strike this individual who is allegedly the number 2 guy in Iran, who's now been replaced by another number 2 guy in Iran. So
you're going to need a deck of cards soon.
Not sure what exactly they thought they were going to accomplish, but they killed one bad guy, and I suspect the guy who replaced him also probably not a nice man. Just going to go out on a limb. But if you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We had a U.S. Marine or former Marine call in the last hour. He agreed, saying that not only is the conflict in the Middle East pointless, but it's also counterproductive because it's likely creating the very terrorism that the U.S. government wants you to be afraid of. So they started this by meddling in the Middle East for decades.
And if you like the ideas of getting involved in the Middle East or think we have to or whatever the situation is, tell me what we've gotten out of these regime change wars in the Middle East up to this point. So we've got Afghanistan, we've got Iraq. We can look at these things and see what's going on.
How about this, Mark? I'm going to try to play, take that side for you here.
All right.
Cheaper oil. You could be paying $5 a gallon. You're paying $2.50.
Could be. They are certainly doing that in Europe, but that's because of taxes. You could be paying probably $1.25 a gallon if it wasn't for all the taxes on petroleum products at this point. So it's your government or series of governments that's likely costing you all that money when it comes to fuel. Secondly, the price of gas went up during the Iraq conflict, not down. I mean, that was one of the things that was trotted out for the Iraq war was at least we'll get some lower fuel prices. Well, no, we didn't. And it makes perfectly good sense. They run these giant generators over there at these military encampments that they set up.
Right, got to air condition the tents, right?
They're air conditioning tents in the desert with giant generators, and then they have to move the fuel from here to there. It's extraordinarily expensive. I can't remember what it was for a gallon of diesel fuel, but I found it shocking.
What did you say? It was $6 trillion spent so far in these wars?
$6 trillion
in the last 20 years or whatever?
Right, and these conflicts that we've had in the Middle East recently, Afghanistan and Iraq.
Right, so you're not including the original Iraq war, which would have been even more money.
I think it's fair to say that 80% of the debt that we currently have, that $23 trillion in debt, that has never been paid off. It got kind of close pre-World War I, but since the 1830s, basically. Jackson had it at zero, but it went up for the Civil War, it went down, these kind of things. But pre-World War I was the last time it was even near zero. And essentially, if you look at the conflicts and the debt to conflict ratio, you will see that something like 80% of the debt that we have is conflicts. Really conflicts that all came out of World War I. If the United States hadn't gotten involved in World War I, there probably wouldn't have been a World War II. And had there not been a World War II, you wouldn't have seen World War I. There wouldn't have been, the Middle East wouldn't have been cut up the way it did, or if it was, maybe we wouldn't have been involved. There's a variety of these things, but they just all cascade out of that. And it's all the same thing. It's all the same endless war, conflict, debt cycle that we American citizens are paying for and getting nothing from.
Well, you're getting more danger. So it's more likely that you could be included within a terrorist strike. It's more likely that terrorism will happen, and so therefore more likely that it could involve you or one of your family members. So you are getting more of that.
Oh, yes.
That's something.
There's some downside, no doubt.
You're getting more, as you pointed out, national debt. So that's something you're getting because they're going to try to saddle you and your children and their grandchildren with that. So that's something you're getting. I mean, you're losing your lifestyle as a result of that. You're losing your spending power because they're going to be increasing the supply of dollars in the economy in order to pay for all this warmongering. So get ready for your quality of life is likely going to go down a little bit because of that. So
you can certainly say that we get the trade is possible because of the U.S. Navy, right? We keep the shipping lanes clear for the whole world. By the way, the whole world doesn't pay for it. The United States citizens do.
Well, shouldn't the shippers pay for it?
Well, they should.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that there's something to be said there. But that doesn't – I'm not saying we don't need a Navy. I'm saying the United States doesn't need to get involved in this endless cascade of conflicts that create problem after problem.
And,
Note, Russia went communist after the United States was involved in World War I and occupied their territory. China went communist after the United States aided them in World War, was on the same side, same with the Russians, same side as the Chinese, aided them in their war against Japan, and then occupied their territory to some extent, and then they went communist. I don't know what the relationship is, but I'm beginning to see a pattern.
Let's go to your calls and thoughts. Kirby is on the line and listening on YouTube, and you're in Indianapolis. Hello, Kirby.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
Hey, what's on your mind?
I'm going to tell you, this Iran stuff has got me really noited out. My children and grandchildren cannot go fight in Mr. Bone Spur's wars. Here's a guy who got 6 deferments from Vietnam because he said he had bone spurs, but he can play golf all day. Okay? Back in, I want to say, 2003, the DOD ran a war game supposedly against Iran. And they had a former Marine Corps general who had just retired named Paul Van Ripper, Lieutenant General, I believe, who they tagged to run the opposition force. In the first day of the game, he sunk an entire battle group. And
so he was playing as Iran, basically?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And after the first day, America had already taken out all the high technology. He went back to using World War I and World War II tactics and defeated America. Now, what we're dealing with in Iran right now goes back to the 1950s when we decided we didn't like their democratically elected president, Mossadegh, and we destabilized the country, and we put the Shah in power, and we created a Frankenstein that will never die. Never.
Well, it may if we stop messing with them. At some point, Iran was pretty modern about that time in the 1950s, and it was the destabilization of their government and putting them back in the Stone Age with the sanctions and these sorts of things that have driven them far more religious. Now their new generation is probably sick and tired of the kookery that's going on, but the only way to solve the problem is letting them solve the problem.
Right.
You can't go in and install puppet regimes
they did.
with any success.
Well, yeah. And it just causes all kind of unintended consequences as well.
Afghanistan, Iraq.
Kirby, anything else you want to share? You nailed it.
No, that's it. I just would like for everybody to look at that video on YouTube. It's only like 5 minutes long.
Which one? Sorry, which video?
About General Van Ripper.
Was it Ripper?
Ripper, Vanriper.
Okay,
you just type that in, it'll come up. And I would encourage everybody to read War is a Racket.
Good one. Thank you, Kirby. Great.
Another Marine.
Yep, great call. Thank you for making it tonight here. War is a Racket is essentially a pamphlet written by General Smedley Butler, who was a World War I general?
He never fought in any of the World Wars, but he did receive 2 Medals of Honor and would have got a third had officers been eligible.
So was he between the 2 wars or something?
Right. Blackjack Pershing and he didn't get along.
There's more coming up here. 855, 450, free like freedom.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dinovite.com. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dinovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dinovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dinovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition here. We will take your calls and thoughts about what you want. You may dial toll-free at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Here tonight, it's me, Ian.
And me, Mark.
For a long time, libertarians have been looking for something like liberty.menu, an actually useful and attractive and free business directory for people that care about freedom, for individuals who reject the initiation of force and who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. If that describes you, you should be listed over at liberty.menu. You surely have a thing you do that you want people to know about. Maybe it's your business, or maybe it's your digital content that you're the creator of. You make videos or podcasts or something like that. Or perhaps you are an event coordinator. You've got an event that you like to promote. Get out there to the Liberty community. Liberty.menu is the perfect place to do that. You can use code FTL to get a special Free Talk Live listener badge on your profile. That's liberty.menu. We go back to the phones, to the fun. We got Dennis on the line listening, I believe. Are you in South Carolina, Dennis?
Yes, a Little River, South Carolina.
Excellent. So you're listening to WRNN-FM. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you for taking my call,
Sure.
Mark and Ian. I appreciate you. It's so interesting listening to you talk.
Thanks.
I wish I knew more about libertarians, but I'm going to study up on it. But what I wanted to talk about was, our embassy was actually attacked, and that's the same thing as attacking, a city in Iowa or New York City. An embassy is considered part of the United States.
Right.
And
now, when you say it was attacked, what exactly happened? Do you know?
Well,
I mean, did somebody throw a bottle?
It was what I saw on TV, and they were throwing fire bombs into
Molotov
the embassy
cocktail
and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Donald Trump, he brought in like 850 Marines pretty quick. We didn't want another Benghazi. You know
Sure.
what happened in Benghazi? That was a nightmare. Actually he got killed. The man in charge of the embassy.
Right.
Man, my brain doesn't work too good.
I don't remember the names
old.
there involved either, but
Doesn't matter what it is.
Benghazi was a true cluster F, as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was.
Snafu.
And he wasn't going to let that happen. But the thing is, you don't hear much about that. But the thing was, he went in there and put a stop to it real quick. And of course, the general that he killed, we all know, and from everything I've read and studied up on him, I mean, he was a real nasty guy.
It looks like he could have been, certainly was responsible for the deaths of Americans, maybe hundreds of them. Over time, those Americans likely were military members, and they were likely in places that, peace-loving people wouldn't be. I do not like the idea of enlisted men and low-level officers getting blowed up over nonsense. But most of that has to do with the United States government, not the Iranian one. So I'm kind of caught in between on this. This could be a genius move by Trump. It could be, but it may not be.
Exactly. But the news, when you listen to the news, it's like they're kind of spurring Iran on. What are they going to do? They got to do something. You hear the news, they're kind of like spurring them on.
Mm-hmm.
It just drives me
Well, the news
nuts.
wants conflict. I mean, the news wants, they've always lived, and they sell ads based on conflict in the world. If there's nobody dying, if it bleeds, it leads, right? Like, they need to have that.
Exactly.
Dennis, thanks for calling, man. I really appreciate hearing from you tonight. Thank you for making that call. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom.
Well, what are they going to do? I don't know what they're going to do, but Kirby just called in the last segment and pointed out how a former Marine General Van Riper had run a scenario where he was playing as Iran and wiped out a battle group and won the war game. So I just watched that video, and sure enough, he's got some ideas. Now, taking out Iran's best general might very well be the way to start that war game, right? If Van Riper had to been there, then maybe they wouldn't have won. But is it possible? Yes. Yes, it's possible for Iran to wipe out a battle group. And that would be tragic.
So when you said you thought this could have been a genius move by Trump, what do you mean? I mean, it's clearly an escalation, and that's always a bad plan.
Well, I don't know whether it's history will tell, right? If Iran goes home and licks its wounds because its greatest general has just been wiped out.
Yeah, but he's just another general to be replaced by another general. They've already got the new guy.
There are people who are not just another general, okay? I mean, there are people who are excellent at their jobs. And when it comes to a general, really great generals we study for a reason. Is he a really great general? I don't know.
I don't know. He put himself in the Baghdad airport so he could get blown up. That didn't seem that smart.
He seemed to have traveled with impunity and did not care. So I don't know. Maybe he's already written out his plans and has just left it with his underlings in the hopes that
who is now in his place.
It went out in the hopes that this would exactly happen. I have no clue.
Yeah, new boss, same as the old boss. The new guy is stepping out to take over the Quds Force, which is the part of the 125,000-strong Revolutionary Guard, a paramilitary organization that answers only to Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The Guard oversees Iran's ballistic missile program, has its naval forces shadow the U.S. Navy in the Persian Gulf, and includes an all-volunteer Basiji force. This new guy is Ismail Ghani is his name. Like his predecessor, he faced the carnage of Iran's 8-year war with Iraq in the 1980s and later joined the newly founded Quds, or Jerusalem Force. While much still remains unknown about Ghani, who is 62 years old, Western sanctions suggest he's long been in a position of power in the organization, and likely one of his first duties will be to oversee whatever revenge Iran intends to seek for the U.S. airstrikes early Friday that killed his longtime friend, Soleimani.
Iran isn't under the... They're not going to act like Saddam Hussein did, where Saddam's like, bring it, America, right? I don't know why that guy acted the way he did, but he got his comeuppance. Iran's not going to be that stupid. They're going to have plans to deal with the United States military. Will they be successful? I have no clue.
I want to bring Jerome on here in Charleston, South Carolina, listening to WTMA. Go ahead, Jerome.
Hey, as Dana Carvey would say, well, what are they talking about tonight? Oh, it's old Donald J. Trump, huh? Hey,
no, I think we're talking more about war and unintended consequences and why escalation is not a good plan. But, Trump's the president at this time, but we've been anti-war throughout the history of Free Talk Live, so that's the way it's always been.
All I notice is that whenever Republicans get in office, we always end up in a war somewhere.
And World War I was started by a Democrat. Somewhere. World War II was started by a Democrat. The Korean conflict, was that Eisenhower? Well, Vietnam was started by a Democrat.
Obama didn't end the Iraq War. He continued it. We'll continue here. If you got more to say, though, Jerome, we can bring it back. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The U.S. has been at war without a declaration under pretty much the presidents during my lifetime. This is Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Free Talk Live.
When you speak of the federal government, I can tell you a few things about it because I survived 34 years of it before I retired 2 years ago.
Ew.
And
sorry to hear about that.
my sanity.
Congratulations.
Who did you work for?
I worked for the Department of Defense. It's a criminal enterprise from top to bottom. There was unethical behavior going on there. There were people doing criminal things. I mean, outright larceny, graft. I could just go on.
Yeah, and that's just your bureaucracy. It's the same way everywhere else in every other government department.
And I tell you, this is a microcosm. If it's that way where I was, you know the entire federal government's that way from the very top to the very bottom.
When we talk to former police officers, they've told us that usually...
I did that too for about 7 years out there.
They've told us that in their experience, usually the worst rise up through the ranks. Would you say that's accurate from your experience?
Absolutely.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform over at local.bitcoin.com that allows you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods, including PayPal and Venmo and bank deposits and remittances, or just meeting somebody in person with cash. Head on over to local.bitcoin.com to get started with that. There are no identification requirements to sign up for the site, which is a big deal. Plus, all communications between buyers and sellers there are encrypted. So go to local.bitcoin.com and get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com.
That means you can get Bitcoin Cash and not have it tracked.
That's true. We go back to Jerome in Charleston, South Carolina. Jerome calling in, as usual, to lambast Trump, and I think he absolutely deserves it.
Today is Jerome's day.
But at the same time, also unfairly claiming that the Democrats somehow want to keep the U.S. out of war when, history is
right. They hate
that.
Tulsi Gabbard, who is their biggest anti-war candidate, a woman, a minority, and everything that the Democrats should want. For some reason, they're calling her a Russian asset.
What do you think about that, Jerome?
Sooner or later, she's going to turn into a Republican. Just like when Trump used to be a Democrat.
Don't you want a candidate that can beat Trump?
Oh, you think she's going to beat Trump?
Well, I'm telling you, she's taking Trump voters right now. I mean, when you look... There are people. I went to a Tulsi Gabbard event here in New Hampshire.
Did she sound like she was going to convert to a Republican?
No, she sounded like a Democrat that was anti-war.
Yeah,
is what she sounded like. She's a huge social
Total
safety
lefty.
net and all that other stuff. So absolutely, I think she can take Trump voters because there was a guy in there that said, "I voted for Trump, and I'm here because you're my only hope."
Wow.
Well, Trump voters are dumb anyway. So
well, Pete Buttigieg isn't going to get that, okay? No, there's no Trump people going to Buttigieg's event and saying, "Hey, save me."
He's not going to be president. He's not going to be president.
Who, Trump isn't?
They're not going to put a gay man in the White House as president.
Pete Buttigieg.
That's what they said about Obama. Well, they weren't going to put a black guy in the White House. I mean, I think that they can a gay guy can win. Sure.
I'm not so sure about that.
All right, Jerome. Thanks for the call tonight, man.
He had a butt.
What? He's gone. Thanks for the call. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Katie is on the line in North Carolina. Katie, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes. How are you doing?
Good. What's on your mind tonight?
Okay. This whole thing, I don't know if I know the correct pronunciation, that General Soleimani or whatever.
You did as good as I did.
Everybody. Well, it seems like everybody's talking about what a bad guy he is. Well, why haven't we heard about him before this incident? I don't think I've ever seen it in the paper or anything else.
Right, yeah, they didn't build him up at all. They didn't talk about how bad he was or he's the most wanted he's our target.
With Saddam Hussein, we heard about him for years.
Great point. Osama bin Laden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, Trump used to be a registered Democrat, and now he's a Republican.
That's right.
And you were talking about how, we had wars, and they were mostly Democratic presidents at the time. Well, the thing of it is, it seems to me that the way Trump is going along, not fulfilling his campaign promises, that he's turned out to be more of a rhino, Republican in name only.
Well, Republicans Republicans and Democrats both don't fulfill their campaign promises because politicians are lying scum.
But I will say that Trump is the most he doesn't fit the party mold.
Mm-hmm. But
apparently that's what America wanted, though.
Yeah, they love him. I was just there today. I was at the county Republican meeting here in Keene, New Hampshire, and watching them, and they just love Trump. I mean, if there are people in there who don't love him, they sure don't talk about it.
Well, I voted for him. I believed everything he said, but he's not doing anything. It's like,
are you thinking about voting Democrat?
What he does, not what he says.
Are you thinking about voting for a Democrat in November?
Hell no. I'm hoping Jesus will come or something.
Thank you, Katie, for the call. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE.
Katie said hell no.
Well, just to remind you, Mark, you don't just choose between Republicans and Democrats. In November, there are third-party options, and the third-party options did better in 2016 when the choices were Trump and Clinton than the third parties have ever done in my lifetime, for the most part. I
think Ralph Nader beat the numbers that Jill Stein brought in for the Green Party. Did he? I believe so.
Huh, you may be right about that.
But he was the spoiler in 2000,
yeah,
and thus, mud was all over his name.
So you will have other options. You will have other choices. We don't know who's running for those third parties at this point in time. I don't think the Greens pick their candidate until later, and the Libertarians don't pick theirs till May.
Trump can go ahead and get a whole mess of people that would vote Libertarian on his side if he goes ahead and pardons Ross Ulbricht, Edward Snowden, Julian Assange.
Yeah,
and
he's not going to do it.
Well, I don't know what he's going to do.
I would love to be surprised and have him actually do. If he just did one of those three, I'd be pretty impressed. If he did all three, that would be like an amazing, miraculous trifecta.
I've already said that I would vote for him if he pardoned any one of those guys. I would vote for him.
Yeah, I had said I would
solely for that purpose.
Yeah, I had said I would vote for him if he pardons Ross Ulbricht, but striking Iran like this definitely gives me second thoughts.
Well,
that's for sure.
I will say he did not strike Iran. He struck Iraq. An Iranian general that was visiting in a country that one wonders what the heck was he doing there.
I don't know.
And I'm not trying to give a pardon or anything like that. I'm just saying that look, wars. Throughout history, if you look at when I look at wars, I see two bad guys fighting.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. And that's what I'm likely to see in this circumstance. You're not going to get me to believe that the United States is, the poor United States. I believe Trump escalated this stuff against Iran, and it doesn't need to be happening. But, I don't like Iran either. You don't see me moving there.
I don't either, and I don't subscribe to the belief system that, states even exist. But there are people who believe in the idea of the nation state.
Well, it's hard not to at least realize that it exists. I mean,
well, it's just an idea. It's an idea that exists in people's minds, and it justifies violence on their behalf. So when I say Iran was struck, I don't mean that the ground of Iran was struck, that the planet, the portion of within the box or whatever of Iran.
Right. The
polygon. I mean the idea of the state. Was struck by them taking out the number 2 guy. And that's how they're going to see it. That's how the statists in Iran are going to see it. They're going to say, oh, well, that was our guy, and you attacked him, so that's an act of war.
And the question is is their ego going to outweigh their better sense? Because
continue to escalate.
Right. This war isn't going to benefit Iran. The probable, almost certain future for Iran is a lot of dead citizens and the power structure being changed over there. Will there be pushback against the United States when it goes in and attempts a regime change war? Oh, yes. There'll be pushback. But it won't turn out well, just like Iraq didn't, just like Afghanistan didn't. But the people that are in power now will be dead, so they don't get to rejoice.
The new guy who's taken the place of the now dead Soleimani His name is Ismail Ghani. He is 62 years old, has long been in power in the organization of the government gang in Iran. He once said of his relationship with Soleimani, quote, "We are children of war, we are comrades on the battlefield, and we have become friends in battle." He said the Guard has seen its influence grow, this is their Revolutionary Guard, ever stronger, both militarily, by the way, the AP reporting, and politically in recent decades. Iran's conventional military was decimated by the execution of its old officer class during the 1979 Islamic Revolution and later by sanctions. A key driver of that influence comes from the elite Quds force, which is who this guy was in charge of, which works across the region with allied groups to offer an asymmetrical threat to counter the advanced weaponry wielded by the United States and its regional allies. A little bit more background there for you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Are we on the brink of World War III? You're welcome to share your thoughts with us here on Free Talk Live.
How would you like to hit the range tomorrow with a brand new gun? Because the United States Concealed Carry Association wants to give you a free gun right now. That's right, completely free. The USCCA is here to give every responsibly armed American the education, training, legal, and financial protection they need. And today, they're giving you not one, but 4 free chances to win $1,000. Simply text GCN to 87222 to get entered now, and you'll get 4 free chances to win $1,000 for any gun you want. Text GCN to 87222 and get entered today. But remember, these free guns won't be around forever, and you can't win if you don't enter. So don't miss out. Just text GCN to 87222 and get your 4 free chances to win now. That's GCN to 87222.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, Medicaid, or have private insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. Managing your diabetes is crucial to your health. The new CGM can automatically and easily help you manage your diabetes more effectively. And by using a CGM, you can eliminate the one thing most people with diabetes dislike the most: finger sticks. Now you can automatically manage your diabetes and end the painful finger sticks. Solara Medical Supplies makes it simple for you to have a new CGM. We'll do all the insurance paperwork for you and deliver the newest in diabetic care technology right to your door. Take charge of your diabetes today with the help of a new continuous glucose monitor. Call now to learn more. 800-547-5331. 800-547-5331. 800-547-5331. That's 800-547-5331.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You may join us right here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Live Saturday edition here with you tonight. Ian.
And Mark.
We will take your calls and thoughts. You can call in about anything. Discord server is up, and it's there 24/7. Discord.lrn.fm allows you to connect over there, and you can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners. Plus, another way you can do it is on our forum over at forum.freetalklive.com. You can just hop on in there. It's actually part of the Shire forums. So there's different forums connected to it, like the Forkfest forum. That's in there. So head over to forum.freetalklive.com as we continue here more with your calls and thoughts. We go back to James, or I think to James in Myrtle Beach. James, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Mark.
Yes. Hey, how you doing there? Thanks
Welcome,
for taking
sir.
my call.
My pleasure.
What do you feel? What's your feelings, sir? I kind of know what your feelings are because I've listened to most of the show, not the entire show tonight. But what do you think of our president, President Trump, ordering the strike to take out Soleimani? Do you feel that was bad to do? Do you feel it was the guy got what he deserved and being a terrorist, obviously, and responsible for killing over 500 U.S. servicemen and women, and he was reportedly actively plotting to kill more Americans at the U.S. Embassy in Iraq and other parts of the Middle East? I mean, do you feel it was bad that our president ordered that strike, or do you feel it was a good thing, but it's going to maybe cause a whole lot of ugly problems to come with retaliation from Iran?
My opinion is that when somebody puts on the uniform, they are saying, shoot me first. So that includes Iranian generals and United States privates, right? So I'd say he started playing the game of, let's start shooting when he put the uniform on. So I don't think there's a moral problem from that standpoint. I think that it could go terribly, and I'd like to remind everybody in the United States what regime change wars are like. And I think Americans are sick and tired of war right now. They didn't want anything to do with Syria. They didn't want anything to do with Libya. They didn't want to do anything to do with conflicts around the world, Somalia, Yemen. There's a variety of them. And
Iraq, Afghanistan.
Well, Iraq's there. Afghanistan. Those are the reasons that we don't like it. So bad. I don't really have an opinion as far as bad. Having terrible consequences. It could. It really could.
Well, I'm going to say on this one, Mark, I disagree with you. I think it is immoral to continue to escalate a conflict. I think that is, asking for trouble, because what it takes to end a conflict is for someone to de-escalate that conflict. And if your role in the conflict is escalating it, then that's a problem.
I think an attack on an embassy is pretty bad. And, if this was orchestrated by a state,
that's what they have you believe, but they're liars, so you can't believe a word they say.
There was an attack on the embassy, but not only that, if our president receives intelligence that states that this guy is about to round up and plotting to kill more Americans, and another attack coming very soon within the embassy of Iraq, as well as other parts of the Middle East, I mean, our commander-in-chief has to do something to stop that.
Well, he could just get them out of there.
They could just go home. They could just forget about all this, Middle East conflict, which has led to the deaths of the 500 people or whatever that you cited. They wouldn't have died if they hadn't been over there at the service of these politicians over the various decades.
Right. Well, way before President Trump's election.
Right. Sure. Trump is just continuing the policies of his predecessors.
And what I like the best about Trump, and again, I've praised Trump on the air here, is I like that he has avoided conflict on multiple occasions, including with Iran, knowing that it would kill like 134 or something Iran service members if he had made this attack, decided to call it off.
Yeah, I remember that. We praised him for that.
And Soleimani probably should have stayed in Iran, and he wouldn't have had this problem.
Well, Soleimani, not only that, he ordered the killing of Iran's own citizens. When from all the protesters, there was thousands upon thousands of people that were killed at the direction of Soleimani. So
well, I mean, the U.S. government has ordered the jailing of millions of its own citizens.
And don't forget all the Indians the United States government killed not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, so comparing the Iranian government with the U.S. government is just comparing cancers.
What do you mean? What do you mean? The U.S. has ordered jailing of its own citizens. What are you talking about?
That's what it does.
There's millions of people in the United States who are in various different prisons for no real reason beyond
victimless crimes.
Yeah, just victimless crimes. I mean, drug possession or drug dealing.
Right.
Or
Before
whatever.
To understand what a libertarian thinks, you first have to understand this one fact. Hold on. Let me tell you the fact.
Wait a minute.
You don't want to hear the fact. Fine.
Drug possession is a crime.
Right.
No, it's not.
So was escaping slavery as a slave in the 1860s. Because something is illegal does not mean that it is immoral. And consider that what a libertarian thinks is that a nation, a state, a government is an organization of institutionalized violence, okay? That's what it is. The nation state has to project force, and that's what they do over and over again. That's what Iran's doing. That's what the United States is doing. So I'm just sitting over here like, how many of y'all want to give your lives for these lying politicians?
Well, here's the thing. We are where we are as a country. We have involvement over in the Middle East, which I'd like to see us get out of there and bring everybody home and end it all.
That's what I agree completely.
But especially the Democrat Party, everybody cries and gets up in arms if Trump even talks about pulling out, because our allies won't be protected and we won't be there to come to their defense should something break out. And,
the allies better buy weapons like Israel did.
Right,
yeah, I mean, it's too bad. Go ahead.
This is my prediction.
All right.
Okay.
President Trump, I really believe he's a very unique kind of president, and he's not going to ship over plane loads of unmarked billions of dollars in cash in the middle of the night. He's going to send missiles, and I think that if Iran chooses to retaliate by, let's go attack Israel, one of the United States' biggest, if not the biggest ally. Let's go attack them. That'll be all it'll take for Trump to order more strikes, and where it'll be really an all-out war, which Iran ultimately, unfortunately, it'll be many casualties, but Iran will lose at the end of the day. Going up against the United States military.
Probably. There was that we were just talking about, that war game where a U.S. general played Iran and managed in 2002 to beat U.S. forces and sink a battle group. And that's a pretty impressive feat.
Well, either way, it's going to result in people who otherwise would have been alive end up perishing, whether it's innocent people in Iran or U.S. military members or military members in Iran. These are the varieties of folks.
I just don't want the fight.
Thank you, James.
Don't want it.
Thanks for the call tonight. I definitely appreciate hearing from you. Let's go to Jay. He's in Boulder, Colorado, watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Jay. Hello? Jay in Boulder, Colorado, going once. Jay in Boulder, going twice. All right. Well, thanks for trying. 855-450, free like freedom. And everybody will be less free as a result.
We are here. Right, like we, the nation, is in the Middle East or whatever. I don't know.
Who is here? Where?
The nation, the United States government,
the
is
U.S.
in,
government.
What his reasoning was the U.S. is in the Middle East, so we got to do stuff. We got to clean up our toys, or
even
whatever.
Though he said he wants them to leave.
And I'd say no. Remember, I just said that I think 75 to 80% of this $23 trillion debt that we're saddling our great-grandchildren with, because our grandchildren aren't going to pay this off, ladies and gentlemen. Your children aren't going to be able to pay this off. Right now, the debt is like $60,000 per working adult. It's incredible. And all this is going to do is put more debt. It was $6 trillion of it is just for the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and expect this to be that bad. Iran is going to be that bad if there's a war. And you don't need it. My son, who's 11 years old, doesn't want to pay for your war games, people. Is all this is going to do is enrich the military-industrial complex, and not you. You aren't going to benefit. Is there some vengeance involved? Sure, you can always find vengeance, but I shouldn't have to pay for your vengeance. You want vengeance on Iran? Go get it.
Yeah, go over there and join whatever military you want to. I don't want to pay for any of the military conflicts personally. I'm not interested in that. Oh, well, who's going to protect you? Well, I'd rather just go ahead and take my chances. And, if I need to, we can hire people locally to protect.
Who protects Liechtenstein and Costa Rica and a whole variety of other places?
I think they would argue the U.S. protects Costa Rica.
Fine. Do they pay?
I doubt it.
They don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
So, there's no equitable distribution here. If somebody should pay, it should be corporations that are doing business.
Related story. We'll take your calls, of course. We've got a full hour to go here. But a related story, the Selective Service System website crashed recently. And some people are saying it was because of a large number of people going to visit, young people presumably, worried about the draft coming back. And let's get into that. On the way, Hour 3, this is Free Talk Live, 855-450, free. You can join us. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,521, silver at $17.89, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,139. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a number of Russian soldiers were badly beaten and airlifted to a hospital after a fistfight with American troops in Syria last week. According to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, the incident occurred on December 25th in the city of Tal Tamar in northeast Syria. When U.S. troops arrived to collect information from local residents, the latter reportedly reacted negatively and accused the Americans of betraying them with the withdrawal of U.S. forces from the area. Russian soldiers in the area then confronted the Americans, at which point they argued. That led to a fistfight between the soldiers. No weapons were used, and no major casualties were reported at first. It was then revealed that 3 of the Russian soldiers were beaten so severely that they required urgent medical attention. According to Russian media outlet The Military Review, the Israeli media also drew attention to the incident, although the Russian Defense Ministry has officially denied that it even took place. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Thousands of Iraqi protesters attacked various parts of the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad on Tuesday, after U.S. airstrikes killed dozens of Iran-backed Iraqi militia over the weekend. The attack on the embassy has been widely documented on Twitter, with videos and pictures showing the destruction. The Mind Unleashed reports that one freelance journalist recorded the moment when the angry mob chanted, quote, "No, no to America, no, no to Israel," end quote, outside of the embassy in Baghdad's Green Zone. The Times of Israel's Mina Bai tweeted a video of what appears to be part of the embassy on fire. More videos show protesters burning the outer walls of the embassy. The U.S. airstrike on Sunday on Hezbollah bases in Iraq and Syria was in response to attacks on U.S. troops in the region. ABC News said there had been no reports of any embassy staff hurt in the current rampage. All security forces have been withdrawn to the inner areas of the embassy. One day after Colorado and western Nebraska counties reported a series of mysterious nocturnal drone flights, the Federal Aviation Administration is promoting a rule change that requires most drones to be identifiable remotely, a report said Monday. The rule change, announced Thursday, has been in the works for more than a year. That's according to FAA spokesman Ian McGregor in an email to the Denver Post. Under the legislation, law enforcement, federal security agencies, and the FAA would be allowed to identify drones flying through their jurisdiction. Activist Post reports a squadron of drones has been flying above a total of 5 Midwestern states every night for more than 2 weeks, leaving both residents and officials wondering who's flying them and what purpose they are serving. Sheriffs in Lincoln, Washington, and Sedgwick counties in Colorado and Nebraska say their offices have been inundated with calls about the devices. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A hot new murder craze sweeps Chicago. Things that shouldn't be said in modern society are said 1,400 times at the RNC, and a brave woman enters a restaurant without first looking it up online. This is the Onion Week in Review. The World Wildlife Fund quickly backtracked Thursday from a recently released press statement saying panda ears are, quote, absolutely delicious. Organization officials noted that while panda ears do taste amazing braised, steamed, fried, or cooked in an omelet, they should not have announced it publicly, nor should they have ever eaten any part of a cheetah, giraffe, or Bengal tiger, no matter how good they may be. According to company sources, the Netflix board of directors held a tense series of meetings earlier this morning to decide whether the fantasy comedy Michael is stream-worthy. The board reportedly sat through its mandatory 2 back-to-back screenings of the 1996 film starring John Travolta as an angel visiting Earth, all while passionately arguing over the film's story, acting, and level of enjoyment upon subsequent viewings to determine if the movie should be available through its instant viewing program.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up here in the third hour of this live Saturday edition, we're going to talk about the Selective Service System. Yeah, it's still out there. They're still registering 18-year-olds, and I heard recently
for the draft.
And I think I heard recently that now it's all men and women that have to register. I don't know if that's true, but that's what the rumor that I heard. But certainly at least all 18-year-old males, registering them for the draft that doesn't actually exist at this time, but could it come back? Some people were worried about it and went to the Selective Service website this weekend, which apparently resulted in the website crashing.
Number one result for do women have is to register for the draft.
And the answer is they do?
Yeah, it says Armed Services Committee voted to add an amendment to the National Defense Authorization extending the draft registration to women.
Wow. And when was this?
2016.
2000, so very recent then. So we can talk more about that, but let's go to the phones first, where we have Mortified Penguin on the line. Mortified Penguin, you're in Virginia. Go ahead.
Hey, gentlemen. Hey. I wanted to talk about the Soleimani affair that's going on.
Yeah, this is the Iranian general who was airstruck and killed by U.S. government forces a couple of days ago.
Yes, in Iraq, in Baghdad, when he arrived at the airport. So I just wanted to say that, first of all, I've been following it. I've been following this stuff all my life, pretty much as far back as I can remember, since I was like 12 years old or so. I mean, I've always been really interested in international affairs.
Well, you're also a Muslim, correct?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Although I don't have any really family over in the Arab world or really that much overseas at all. So,
okay.
But you're a Sunni, aren't you? Celebrating the death of this Shiite scum?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. I'm not really about that. I've never been told in my life like, oh, you're a Sunni, or I mean, I am by default, but it's not really about that. And in a lot of places, it's not. But people have to realize that you don't know. Even like this lady called in earlier. She's never heard of this guy. Nobody's ever heard of this guy. There's no narrative here. But I'll tell you, you're having all these all these beltway types and all these politicians going on trying to sell this thing. And everybody's being fed lies, just a whole pack of lies.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are the lies?
I have no idea.
Do you know what one of them is? I mean,
probably everything they're saying.
I mean, I will agree with you on the run-up to the Iraq War. There were a lot of lies. I remember listening to the Glenn Beck program, and he was talking about these terrorist training camps in Iraq, trying to tie the Taliban and the Al-Qaeda and Iraq all together. And then we basically find out that more or less none of that stuff was true.
Well, didn't you buy it hook, line, and sinker?
Well, sure. At the time, I was pro-war because, you know.
Bought the lies.
Right. I think a lot of Americans would have invaded Canada if we had said that they were the ones who did 9/11. The nation was shocked.
Pompeo or Pence or whoever is trying to sell that he was involved with 9/11, that he fought against U.S. troops in Iraq, which he actually was in Afghanistan, which he was actually, he was actually involved with the Northern Alliance, which U.S. allies, whatever. But most importantly, that that he was responsible for hundreds of U.S. dead, as if every Shiite that ever fought every Arab Iraqi Shia that ever killed an American did it with at his orders.
Yeah.
Did every explosively formed penetrator came from Iran, which is a lie that they've never provided any evidence for. I listened to a really good interview that anybody should check out. It's linked somewhere in the Discord from the Libertarian Institute with Scott Horton. A lot of libertarians are going to know that guy. That really just goes into the details. I mean, the guy reluctantly takes a position that defending Iran constantly, because it's everything you hear about Iran. Everything you hear about Iran is a lie. It's really blown out of proportion or just a bold-faced lie. And
you'd think they'd have a very robust nuclear program and quite a few nuclear weapons, but
they've never had one.
The UN denies that up and down, and has the ability to go in and search the country and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they've never had one single nuclear weapon or one single one in development so far, and yet you would think that they are just they're just one step away from blowing up New York City. And who would you? I can't believe that anybody would trust the government. And this is actually brought up in the podcast I referenced after the Afghanistan papers came out. And I mean, you heard about it for a few days, but they've been lying completely about that entire war. This is worse than the Pentagon Papers or anything.
Yeah, great point. We did cover that here.
Years.
Right, we did cover that here throughout all these presidents, Bush and Obama and now Trump. The lies have been continuing, and the only reason we find out about this is not because any of those generals in the Afghanistan papers or those, bureaucrats came out and were honest. They were honest in a recording session that they believed was not going to be revealed. They believed was going to be kept confidential. It ended up being that I believe courts ruled that it needed to be released. So all of the truth-telling that happened there, they weren't intending to blow the whistle. They were just telling the truth in an interview that they thought was going to be kept secret. And the truth is they were lying top to bottom about Afghanistan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're in a horrible position right now. You're in a position where, like, for one thing, none of us have any idea that we want to commit a blatant and brazen act of war against Iran, killing their most popular general. I mean, like you said, you can't even compare this guy to any American general because no American can even name a general hardly. So this guy's like a hero. He fought ISIS. He fought all kinds of people. Recently led the fight against ISIS. Same people that forces that were mobilized to fight ISIS. They're terrible people, by the way. These Shia militias. I mean, horrible. But they were the same people that were storming the embassy after the U.S. bombed Iraq, which U.S. has no ability to bomb Iraq, which is supposed to be a so-called friendly country, and a country that Iran, that's the U.S. isn't at war with, there's no authorization to be at war with, and you bomb their general. And now we're in a position where things have to happen. We're in this whether we like it or not. We're all in this. Even just the oil prices going through the roof is going to be a huge effect on me and you guys. I mean, everybody listening to this. And we didn't consent to this, assent to this, ever heard of Soleimani. It's ridiculous.
Great points. Thanks for sharing tonight, Mortified Penguin. Appreciate it. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. If you want to join us here, that's 855-450-3733. We go to Graham. He's in Pennsylvania, listening online. Go ahead, Graham.
Yeah, hi. I'm calling about the Selective Service.
Yes, sir.
I'm 35 years old. I signed up for the Selective Service when I was 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And last time I checked in their website, it said that all American males between the ages of 18, and 26 had to sign up in that time period, or else they could be subject to either a couple of years in federal prison and or a $250,000 fine.
Yes, they did threaten. I remember that when I was a teenager as well, reading those threats and being convinced that they were relatively certain. What would happen?
One wonders why we still have a draft board. They got rid of the draft when I was a kid.
Because they can flip a switch and turn it back on.
I guess that's the idea, but it has to. I mean, it has to be a catastrophe. The draft board in any given place is probably just a mess. I mean, they haven't. Any machine you don't run begins to deteriorate.
Well,
this one hasn't been run in almost 50 years.
I remember hearing a few years ago that they were looking to staff certain draft boards around the country, looking to fill positions or whatever. So I mean, they're still running the machine. The Selective Service is still getting its funding and still doing its thing and registering and filing and paperwork and meetings and filings and registering and paperwork and threatening and sending out postcards and God knows how many millions of dollars, hundreds of millions or whatever, have been poured into this organization.
We should do what Heinlein suggested in that whatever Spaceship Troopers or whatever. Starship Troopers, a great movie. And basically, hey, you want to be able to vote, you want to be a citizen, you got to serve in the military. And then you won't have any of this anchor baby problem. You won't have all kinds of problems. And then the United States, that's what states do, right? They're intrusive.
Graham, anything else you want to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, people say America is free and the government works for us, but how can we be free and the government works for us if they can imprison us and take our money if we're not on a list?
Well stated, sir, and thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Now, had I known now what I knew then, I don't think I would have filled that card out. I just don't think I would have.
I don't know what I would do. I don't like the penalties, I can tell you that.
I don't think they've ever brought them to bear on somebody, as far as like
bunch of fat kids worried about getting drafted.
As far as the prison time. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. As we continue with the live Saturday episode here of Free Talk Live, we will take your calls about anything, though the conversation has tended to revolve around the situation in Iran, which could be getting worse because, well, that's what escalation tends to do to a situation. It's Ian and Mark here in the studio tonight.
If you've been watching cryptocurrencies ebbs and flows for the last more than 10 years like we have here on Free Talk Live, you'll know that cryptocurrency tends to peak and then fall back down as far as value goes, and then peak much higher and then fall back down, and then peak much higher and then fall back down. So one would presume that we're due with that pattern. It's up to you if you decide that patterns matter in this circumstance, that cryptocurrency is due for some kind of new peak.
Especially if they start spending a bunch of money on a war and printing out money, there's a good chance it'll go up.
Right. Or if the stock market, which has been hitting all-time highs, suddenly doesn't hit new highs. The gold guys, people are getting into gold to protect their money. Cryptocurrency is another natural place that people will go to protect their value. One of the ones that has increased the most in the last year is Divvy. We've recently started a partnership.
You mean by U.S. dollar value?
Yeah, U.S. dollar value. Thank you. We started a partnership here with Divvy, and I'd encourage you to go and check them out at divvyproject.org. Besides their increase in value, I'd like to mention their one-touch multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. Go check it out, divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org.
We go back to your phone calls and thoughts here. Again, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Let's talk to Jay. He's in Boulder, Colorado. Jay, you're on Free Talk Live, watching us on YouTube.
Yes, may I offer a retort for once on so-called Free Talk Live?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This is James Whittekind, right?
I don't know. Go ahead.
From the New Yorker during the Obama presidency of 2013, if I may offer a prophetic paragraph. Since then, Soleimani has orchestrated attacks in places as far-flung as Thailand, New Delhi, Lagos, Nairobi, and at least 30 attempts in the past 2 years alone. The most notorious scheme was in 2011 to hire a Mexican drug cartel to blow up a Saudi ambassador in the United States as he sat down at a restaurant a few miles from the White House. The cartel member approached Soleimani's agent, turned out to be an informant for the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. The Quds force appears to be more effective close to home, and a number of remote plans have gone awry. Still, after the plot collapsed, two former American officials told a congressional committee that Soleimani should be assassinated. Soleimani travels a lot, one said. He's all over the place. Go get him. Either try to capture him, or kill him. In Iran, more than 200 dignitaries signed an outraged letter in his defense. A social media proclaimed, "We're all Qassam Soleimani." Death to mass murders, death to preachers that lie. That's coming from the New Yorker. The last part I made up.
Thank you for being on topic. Appreciate the call tonight. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So he's saying that the U.S. military has been angling for this guy since at least back in the Obama administration.
Yeah, I know that Obama, but according to the news, right? And again, the first time I'd heard about this Soleimani guy, or at least recall hearing about him, was very recently. But the claim is that both Bush and Obama had a chance to take him out, and for whatever reason chose not to do it. He deserved it, right? He put on the uniform. He's done whatever he's done. As far as I'm concerned, he arrayed himself against the United States by putting on the uniform.
Well, I'm not going to go as far as you and say that he deserved it. I'll say that I don't feel terrible if a bad person...
If you play war games, expect war.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't feel terrible if a bad person gets killed, but I think that forgiveness is usually a better path than continuing escalation of conflict.
Nation-states don't really do forgiveness.
I understand that, and that's part of the problem. They're horrifying organizations who murder people around the planet and then act like they're doing everybody a favor. We're going to continue here with your calls and thoughts. Dana is on the line in Grand Rapids. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Dana.
Hi, guys. What I wanted to comment on was a comment before break. The gentleman who said he was an Arab called and said that most people have not heard of Soleimani. So that right there is a problem because although we enjoy the freedoms that we have, we're not really in tune with the men and women, and most of them are young, college age. While these college age kids are running around protesting, making up the next sign that's anti-Trump and fill in the blank, just waiting for him to do something so they can protest. They don't even acquaint themselves with what is going on with these people that we're committing, to these different countries. Another comment I wanted to enlighten our Arab friend, I have heard of this because from an academic level, I did quite a bit of research on Iran and their nuclear capabilities. I know who Soleimani is. I'm glad he's gone. If he was gone under any other president, i.e., like a Clinton or either Bush or Obama, I would suspect that it was the military complex was behind it, that they want to enrich the military manufacturers. But because this is one thing that I am absolutely certain of, no billionaire that Trump loves this country, and he loves our military and those men and women, and also people like you guys and myself, just regular citizens. He is not going to start something or commit something. If Bolton was still on his cabinet, I would be a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I'd be more nervous then. Yeah, and I think that this is possible, that it is possible that this act will, essentially take the head off of the Iranian military, and what could have been ramping up to a conflict it now doesn't occur.
It's a ridiculous statement.
Because I want to share something with you guys and your listeners. My research, I'm telling you, I don't give a rat's tail what Obama or Bush or anybody else said when they had those, and I can't think of it. I can't believe it. I wrote this huge paper on it. I think it's the IAE.
The International Nuclear Energy Association or something?
Yeah.
I think it's the IAEA, yeah.
Security Council. Yes. It's part of the security branch that goes and checks these sites out. They never stopped developing plutonium. They never abided by any agreement. If you guys today,
but they don't have nuclear weapons.
Mark, if I threatened your family and you said, "No, Dana, no, I'll pay you off," what do you think is going to happen? When I run out of cash, I'm coming for more money.
Well, sure. That's how that would go.
It's true. But just because they're working on plutonium doesn't mean they're developing.
If the UN had something against Iran, they would not have allowed this deal that they'd wanted to go through. I mean, this the one the U.S. was abiding by up until Trump.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate the call tonight. Toll-free number 855-450 free like freedom. You are invited to join us here on the radio. This is Free Talk Live's live Saturday show.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your AMP will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free to bring up whatever you want here. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Live Saturday edition of the show. That's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
LibertyCon is coming up April 3rd through the 5th, so mark your calendar. Start planning to attend, because it sounded like it's going to be a pretty interesting event. I've never been to a LibertyCon before, so this will be my first time. Mark, I think yours as well. In Washington, D.C., with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations that you can network with for maybe, advancing your career. You need an internship or something like that. These are the places, the people that you'll be needing to talk to. And they've got them all together in the same convention, which is pretty cool. Plus, you get to see some great speakers. John Mackey is going to be there. You may know him as the CEO and co-founder of Whole Foods. He's also a libertarian. Vernon Smith, he's the Nobel Prize winner in economics. Miriam Issa, pop culture expert with over 300 million YouTube views. And Nassim Nicholas Taleb, who is the author of The Black Swan. You can go and learn more over at libertycon.com. Now, according to their website, the prices are supposed to increase on January 4th. It is January 4th today, as we are doing this broadcast, and I'm looking here, and yes, the prices have gone up. So it was $79.99 or whatever, and now it's $99. So it's still pretty affordable as far as a convention is concerned. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of a convention, a 3-day-long convention in a major city like this, charging $100 for a ticket. That's unheard
really cheap.
of. So you can still get a pretty great deal. And Mark, I suspect our 10% discount will still work even though the prices have gone up.
Yeah.
Okay, so code FTL is what you want to use. You'll knock $10 off the already very affordable registration. And if you're a student, they've got student travel scholarships available, which means they'll help you get there. Plus, discounted rooms available for everybody staying at the Marriott Marquis in D.C. So mark your calendar, April 3rd through the 5th for LibertyCon. Go to libertycon.com and use code FTL to get your discount as we go back to the phones and to your calls and thoughts. First up, we've got Larry. He's in Indianapolis listening online. Go ahead, Larry.
I was just going to say how proud I am of our champion for getting rid of our enemies before they can do any more damage, plus settling the situation that if you mess with America, you're going to get taken out. And I'm glad that he's trying to get the Mexican drug cartels on the terrorist list so they can get a drone buzzing around them. But in any case,
because that's always worked with eliminating drug cartels, right? Just murder people. Doesn't that make you more like the drug cartels?
They're sending dope in there, poisoning our cities. If he tells them to stop, so he give you a couple of months to clean your act.
But people want the dope.
Well, they want it, but the U.S. government can supply it to them and get the money. So the thing about it is, I'm serious about that.
Well,
but one thing I call about, here's why the president has to be above the law. Everybody's talking about that. If he was not above the law, well, then the Congress, the Senate, and the House could surely pass some law that says he gets impeached for talking out of line to some woman or something, and they would have to pass through. But the block on that is the separation of powers, and the Supreme Court would definitely have to rule on it.
The president is not supposed to be above the law.
He's above the law. He is above.
He may be above the
He
law,
must be.
but he's not supposed to be. He swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, which is supposed to be the highest law in the land.
And that says that he's above the law. If there's a constitutional law and there's statutory law. The statutory law is what gets made up over in the Senate and the House.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of crap.
They can make any, and they're ruthless too, because just like any state legislature, they can make up any law that they want. It could be unconstitutional or anything else, but it's still, when they enact it and the governor signs it, it's the law. And do you take it to court and have the court rule on it? That's when you get defense against it. But our president, I'm so proud of him. He's our champion.
Who should he murder next?
I think he should go down there and start getting the drug cartel. He should send a squadron of F-15s down to straight their private villas.
Yeah, it's not going to work, Larry.
Then get it and cut it. I know
it's not going
to
work. No, it won't.
Mexico is
you cannot get rid of drugs by increasing the violence that is leveled against the drug cartels. It's not going to end drugs. It's just going to make them more expensive.
The people who fill the positions of these dead people are going to be more violent and more dangerous.
Right, and they're going to raise their prices. Thank you, Larry, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. I don't agree at all with your perspective. The war on drugs has been going on for decades, and drugs are as prolific, if not more so, than they've ever been. They're harder now than they've ever been. They're more dangerous. Crack cocaine, for instance, or methamphetamine. These are things that didn't exist when the drug war
likely
started.
Wouldn't have existed.
Yeah. So,
bath salts.
Yep.
Yep. This artificial marijuana, very dangerous stuff.
Going down to Mexico and strafing a drug cartel boss's house or, whatever meeting places they have is, as you pointed out, Mark, going to open up opportunities for new people to fill the unending demand for drugs. Because as long as there's a demand in the marketplace, as long as people want to get away from their lives, to escape from reality, there's always going to be someone out there who's willing to fulfill that demand. They're willing to supply that person with whatever it might be that they can get their hands on, heroin or crack or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, I'm not saying these drugs are good, but I will remind everybody listening that this country was built by people who had legal access to opioids. That, the drug war is a relatively new thing, and people, all kinds of people were using laudanum and morphine. You could buy this stuff in the Sears catalog.
Yeah, if you want to go and hang out at an opium den, I don't care. It's your time. It's your life. Do what you want.
I would prefer you to get to work and make a better life for yourself, your family, and your community.
Well, some people went to the opium den on their time off, and then they
probably
went to work.
Some of them did.
Yeah. So you can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. And of course, this is actually coming back around to a comment that I made earlier tonight, which was about how there's millions of people in the United States prison system who have done nothing more than possess or sell drugs. And so it's a tremendous attack on the U.S. people as well. You may fantasize about attacking the drug cartels, but it's also been an attack on our brothers and sisters and our neighbors and our family members.
For whatever reason, humans seem to like to alter their consciousness. And at 40 years old, you'd think, or 50 years old, you'd think the drug war has had its time to be effective. And at this point, it can claim no victories. I would like to right here and now congratulate drugs for winning the war on drugs.
Yep, and they will continue to win. Russell is on the line listening to WLNI FM in Virginia, in Lexington. Go ahead, Russell.
How's it going, guys?
You sound really far away from your phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually on Bluetooth right now.
Okay.
I'm not trying to hold my phone while I'm driving.
Yeah, don't crash.
Just give me no, I'm pulling over right now.
All right, yeah. When you pull over, if you could disconnect the Bluetooth and pop your regular phone connection back on, it would greatly help us. That's much better. Go ahead.
Yeah. The last guy really.
And turn down the radio. Turn down the radio if you haven't done that yet.
It's off.
Okay, go ahead.
The last guy was just, I hate to say typical, but typical. 45 number one. I didn't vote for Trump, but you know what? I don't dislike the man. I support about 60% of what he does.
Mm-hmm.
But people seem to skip or have forgotten some history here. Iran, since 1986, we've had an issue with Iran in one form or another. I'm not talking about the hostages in 81.
Right. I was gonna say, it goes back further than that.
Israel went over there and took out a couple of their nuclear facilities, set back their nuclear program back about 20 years. We can do surgical strikes with limited executive orders. I don't see why everybody's so worried about that we're going to get a full-scale shooting war with these people. We're not, because it'll be like Iraq. We're going to get mired in like, an urban-based Vietnam, except we'll eventually come out somewhat on top and we'll declare a victory and we'll all go home. And
10 years later,
we'll have a 5,000 troop skeleton crew hanging around there.
And after how many people, hold that thought, Russell. I know you have more to say. Stand by. We'll bring you back if you get time here. But after how many people have perished? How many more troops commit suicide after that? How many more with PTSD? It's Free Talk Live.
Do you feel like many of us? All the distractions in the world taking our minds and focus off what really needs to get done day to day? Well, Janess has a dietary supplement called Mind to help with mental distraction, and it supports memory function. Go to gcnlife.com now to check it out. You're only at your best when your mind is at its best. Go to gcnlife.com or call toll-free 844-443-6637. That's gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Message and data rates may apply.
Help! Seriously, I'm too young for hair loss.
My hairline keeps creeping back. Receding?
I've got this bald spot.
It's thinning everywhere.
I'm gonna have to give up and shave it.
Dude, put down the razor, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is about to give you your real hair back permanently. Don't ignore the signs of hair loss. Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals all the signs, and a free gift card to anyone who texts KIT88 to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Plus, since Bosley has new non-surgical options, you owe it to yourself to text now for an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off, no matter what level of hair loss you have. Text KIT88 to 85850. KIT88 to 85850.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agrishosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agris Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agrishosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agrishosting.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. If you are on the line now, we're going to do our best to get you on the air with us. If you do not get on tonight, don't worry. You can always call back tomorrow night because we do a live show 7
days a week.
Nights per week. It is going to be days for you, Mark, if you end up doing a show from Saipan.
Yep, 10 a.m.
Where 9 or 10, I think, depending on the time, daylight saving time, right? So that's a big change coming up for you in about a week. I'm sure we'll talk more about it as it gets closer. I did announce it on our website and via the email list today over at freetalklive.com. So be sure you sign up for our email list there. You'll get the latest news about Free Talk Live as you need to know it over at freetalklive.com. You'll get it in your email box. You can sign up there. There's an email sign up right there on the front page of the website. So drop your email in there, and we'll keep in touch with you that way. As we go back to your calls and thoughts here, you can bring up what you want. We have Douglas on the line in Daytona Beach, Florida, listening to WNDB. Go ahead, Douglas.
Hello. I'm 60 years old, and I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of Florida. And I studied international relations, had some classes in international relations and economics and history and government and the Constitution and everything. I was also an MP in the Army from 1983 to 1987. And I was against the invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan because I considered them to be illegal and war crimes. And if I had been in the Army in the last 18 years and they would have tried to send me over there, I think I would have refused on the grounds that it was illegal, because you are allowed to you refuse an order if it is unjustified and illegal.
Absolutely.
Also, it created one of the things that I predicted, along with most of the others, the 25% that were against those wars, we predicted was instability in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we've got. And now we've got our soldiers over there in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria. And now Iraq is going to have a vote on whether to kick out the military. They're making the Iraqis' lives dangerous by being in Iraq. And now, we're having all these problems with Iran, which I predicted would happen after the last year, after Trump pulled us out of the nuclear deal. I have also predicted a number of other things happening too. But something I'm even more concerned about now, inside the country, inside our country, is that thanks to the courts and the Republicans and Trump, they have legalized discrimination in the name of religion. They are creating a Christian theocracy. And I became aware last year that Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Bill Barr were leading a movement to create a Christian theocracy in this country.
Interesting.
And the courts have are letting people, discriminate on the basis of religion. And now, yesterday, Trump said he's going to put prayer in public schools.
Did he really?
That'll be disastrous.
It will be.
Well,
because, there are kids from all kinds of religions in the schools, and you can't force religion on people in public schools.
It's going to be something that needs to get challenged and should be challenged in the courts. But of course, the real disaster
the disaster is
the public schools. Yeah,
I
mean, they need to be abolished entirely, and that way people can go and get whatever kind of religious or non-religious education they prefer by paying for it.
I hesitate to even use the term education in referring to government schools because government schools we're talking about 20% of graduates of government school, 19%, are functionally illiterate. In some districts, that number is as high as 40%. I mean, this is a failure. This is an organization that has been around for more than 100 years. They have plenty of time to get their act together. They just fail at this. I think kids can not go to school and learn more.
I think that's true too. Douglas, good call, man. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us tonight.
Something else too.
Yes, sir. Quickly.
Another problem that most people aren't aware of is that we already have fascism going on in this country at the state level, because there are Republican-controlled states that are trying to control the local governments too, and that's fascism.
Well, fascism, I believe, is essentially a state regulation of business. Isn't that right, Mark?
Oh, that's what Mussolini said. Fascism is one of those terms you can toss around.
But he's right. I mean,
the
U.S. government and state governments, not just red states, but blue states as well, are fascist just as much as they are socialist. I thank you for the call, Douglas. I appreciate it. There are definitely statists, and it's kind of a mix of like fascio-socialism or socio-fascism.
It gets very difficult.
Whatever.
I mean, what is statism? What is socialism? What are these?
It's all authoritarian, is what it is.
Statism's a clear definition. What is socialism? What is fascism?
Gets
these
muddled.
things get difficult to.
Let's talk to Kevin. He's in Mobile, listening to WAVH-FM. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Welcome, sir.
Last caller was interesting there. I thank him for his service to our country. God bless him on that there. But, this is kind of a plethora of things tonight here. He opened up. But my thing is this. I'm a United States citizen, okay? I vote. I get a count. I get one vote right there. And you know what? What kind of irks me is we do have a president. It's our president. Whether you like President Trump as a person or not, he's the president of the United States. He was duly elected. Since he's been in office, they've done everything they can, including the impeachment, to try to get him out. The catch-22 is this. We've had other presidents are impeached there. And if I was to meet President Clinton, President Obama, I would shake their hand and I would thank them for their service. Doesn't mean that you have to agree with the person's ideology. You don't have to like them, but they are the president of the United States.
They're compensated pretty well. They don't need my thanks. I mean, they're getting $400,000 a year.
I don't appreciate anything they've ever done, any of those people or any of their predecessors either. They've done nothing more than increase the size and scope of the state.
It's an opinion.
Yeah.
As an American citizen.
That is your opinion.
Yes,
but
sir.
You know what? Are you a United States citizen?
I don't think so.
I don't think citizens exist because a citizen. Hold on. You asked a question. Let me give you an answer. It's not a yes/no. It's not a yes/no answer. A citizen is a person who owes a duty of allegiance in exchange for an obligation of protection. The United States Supreme Court has ruled again and again and again that the government has no obligation to protect you. You are not a citizen. You are a subject.
Okay, well, are you a subject of the United States? Let me ask you this.
The United States government claims me as its serf. Yes. What's that?
Okay, so are you going to reap any benefits if you retire? Are you going to get a Social Security check?
If I get a Social Security check, it's just me getting my money back at 1%.
I won't be. I don't pay in.
And you are a United States citizen by that aspect, okay?
No.
So what?
Again,
you're just ignoring the definition.
I'm not arguing with you. If you vote, you're a United States citizen.
Well, there are three definitions of United States. I mean, it depends on how you define United States. You could be what they call a state citizen, in New Hampshire,
State of New Hampshire,
and that because they're part of the United States, you could say that that's kind of a United States citizen. But either way,
it just sounds like blathering statism to me.
Yeah,
like,
that's what it is.
There's a criminal organization. There's a criminal organization that calls itself the United States government, and yes, that organization claims me as its serf. So that's the answer to the question.
If that's the case, if you're born in Texas or California, which are republics, then you could say, okay, I am a citizen of Texas Republic that resides in the United States. That's what you're saying, correct?
Well, New Hampshire also has Republic of New Hampshire written across the state house.
You could say that if the state actually had, an obligation to protect you. And I'm not sure if state governments have any such obligation, but we know the federal government does not.
All right, well, here's the great thing. In
Yes,
the United States, that's where you're at right now, I assume, the United States is protecting you, and they're giving you the ability to have free speech in the First Amendment right there. If we were attacked, because you're here, somebody's going to protect you that's wearing a uniform.
Oh, I don't think so.
And the beauty of it is this.
What about those people after? Sorry, I got to say something to what you said there just before you just keep on going. What about after Hurricane Katrina, where people in uniforms were taking guns from United States people?
Well, you've got your Congress that's trying to do that right now as well. They're going to have a hard time doing that.
But you just told me those people were going to protect me, and I'm telling you, last I saw, they were taking guns from people.
That's not last, but...
Yeah, that's the last time I saw the military going door to door in the United States. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, when you have a state of emergency, sometimes that can happen. Okay, I'm not going to deny that right there.
Oh, I see. So when they call it a state of emergency, you can just forget about the Bill of Rights. Is that what you're saying? You can forget about the Bill of Rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, like
just throw it out. That's a bunch of crap, right?
Could you go?
Who needs that gun freedom, right?
Have a radio show like you've got right now.
Probably not.
You can agree to disagree.
We can agree that the United States will let you complain about the government.
That's true.
Yes,
and I'm grateful for that.
It's a great freedom.
Yep.
And I'm not going to claim that you go to North Korea and do what we do, it's going to be short lives. I can talk all the crap I want about North Korea from here, and I do. But remember, I'm not here just talking about the United States being a criminal organization. Every government is. This model of people who claim a monopoly privilege on the use of violence in a given landmass, it's antiquated.
I wish we had more time to talk about it. If you didn't get in tonight, again, we'll be back tomorrow online. In the meantime, you can join us over at freetalklive.com. I hope you have a great weekend, and Happy New Year to you. It's Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I've always been high energy, just going. And I turned 40 last November, and I was tired all the time. Now, taking the Balance of Nature, I just feel good. I have energy when I get home to still wrestle with my kids and do the honeydews at home. It's nice. I can tell that it just restored me to feeling normal, which is great.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio.